on a daily basis to avail of services.
This week is Parkinson's Awareness Week, an attempt to bring public attention to the challenging condition which affects 12,000 Irish people.
We are here today to raise awareness. We asked the Minister for Health to acknowledge the Parkinson's Association of Ireland.
This group has a special aim. They've rallied outside Dail Eireann with a message for the government.
We need services in Ireland. We need the government and the Department of Health.
Paula Gilmore, CEO of the Parkinson's Association, wants to draw attention to a major gap in services she says exists for those living with the disease. Maria McCarthy, one of those attending the rally, was diagnosed with the illness 9 years ago.
Well, when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, it was the biggest shock in my life. I knew nothing about it. People would say they thought it was just a shake of the hand or a shake of your foot, but it can be anything. And people say, and you look so marvellous. How do you mean you're not well? It's different. It's all inside.
And where are the pains generally for you?
Every part of my body, I feel energy being drawn from me almost. Over the years you learn a lot, because you have to learn a lot if you want to live or you go under, and I'm not the person to go under. I'll be dragged out by the heels and that'll be a story to tell.
Parkinson's disease affects many people, young and old, including some of those inside Dail Eireann.
Well, you know, there's always a protest outside Lenister House, but I regard this one as personal to myself. My closest political ally of 30 years, who worked with me in and out of government, has Parkinson's. She tells me constantly of the facilities that are available and what needs to be done. And I know everybody has a claim on the health service, but Parkinson's is such an insidious, debilitating disease. And one of the things we need to do is provide hope.
I was 44 when I was diagnosed, so I was completely blown away by this. It was something that I absolutely never expected. And, it took me a long time to deal with it. And I didn't really deal with it until after about 5 years.
21 years ago, I was diagnosed. Although I had hints that there was something wrong, I just thought I needed a bit of exercise. And
For Brian, it was his GP who spotted the symptoms and recommended he see a neurologist. But for many living with Parkinson's, long waiting lists exist for specialist care.
So there's a shortage of nurses. We're receiving about 5,000 calls per year.
Yes, first of all, I do have a personal connection to Parkinson's. I had a great friend. He was one of the best looking people I've ever seen. He was a great athlete. He was 6'2", and he got Parkinson's. And then I saw how devastating it can be, not only for the patient, but also for the family.
In the Republic, there are just 5 Parkinson's disease nurse specialists, with 3 based in Dublin, leaving the rest of the country with limited coverage according to campaigners.
We don't have a Parkinson's specialist in Cork as such, and that's one of the main reasons we're here today, is to get the support of a nurse or a couple of nurses for Cork.
And I think it is very regrettable that there are only 5 nurses, that there's no statutory provision of services. There should be, and I salute these brave people.
Senator Kevin Humphreys says the current number of nurse specialists falls far short. He wants to see one in every county.
And I was really surprised to find out is that they had no central government funding. They provide a service for 12,000 sufferers without a penny coming from the Exchequer. And then we see that it's a very different service that you can get in Dublin than what you can get in rural Ireland.
The state of the services is very poor. We are struggling really to kind of meet the needs of, unfortunately, a growing number of people who are being diagnosed.
For several years now, Parkinson's campaigners say they have been lobbying the government to bridge the funding gap.
But there's no response by government, there's no looking at it, and there's no solution. And we were doing the same thing this day last year.
You live outside of Dublin, Galway or Limerick. You have limited if no access to a nurse specialist. We also want to raise awareness about the association.